Hello, my Nutter Butters. Today's video obviously is not an ASMR video, so if that is what you're looking for, then I will see you on Friday as always. And for those who are new here, hello, my name is Natty and I make Roblox ASMR videos. In today's video, I'm going to be going over every little detail of how to create a Roblox ASMR channel and the best methods that I think there are to create high quality content. Any links I mentioned during this video will all be linked in a Google Doc in the description, so everything is in one easily accessible place. I will also have timestamps in the description if you want to skip to a certain topic. And just a note, if I sound a little robotic, it's just because I have a script right now that I'm reading from, just to make sure that I don't forget anything. And before I begin, I'd like to make it very clear that this is all from my own personal experience. Obviously, I haven't been doing Roblox ASMR for a very long time, around 4 months as of recording, but I've definitely learned a lot of helpful tricks that have helped me improve my content, and my intention with this video is just to share those tricks with some beginners who might be looking for resources. I'm not going to be sharing how to get a lot of views or subscribers, but I will share some tips to make your content look more polished. Okay, without further ado, let's get into the video. First, of course, you have to make your ASMR channel, and before you can even get started with that, you have to pick a name. This is honestly my favorite part of the process, and I don't think it's too stressful. Your name can be anything from your preferred name or nickname, like mine is, or your favorite flower, a reference to your favorite book, movie, show, whatever it is you want. Although I do recommend making sure the word ASMR is included in your name somewhere, just so others know what your channel is about. Of course, it's not necessary, but it does help people discover your channel. As for your nickname, which is this option when you're editing your channel, I personally just prefer it to be my channel's name. This is just because your nickname on YouTube is what shows up under your videos, whether it's in the search bar or when you're watching a video, and I just prefer that to be my channel's name. Of course, this is personal preference, so have it be whatever you want. Next, we'll move on to your channel's description. As you can see here, mine is very short and straight to the point. It tells a viewer exactly what to expect from my channel in a friendly, inviting way. Of course, yours can be as short or as long as you like, it just comes down to personal preference. I do, however, recommend doing as I did and telling the viewer what you can expect from your channel. Include stuff like what games you'll be playing, what triggers you'll be doing, or what days you'll be uploading. And finally, we can move on to these last two sections here, which are your links and your contact information. First, let's start with links. I personally only have my link tree in this section, as it houses all of my other links in one place, so it's just easier to just put that. I personally find it easier to use Linktree or Card to host all of my links, so I'm not having a huge cluster of links in my description or in my profile. Again, that's just a personal preference, so you do as you wish. Whatever links that you put in this section will show up on your channel like this. Last but not least is your contact information. This part is optional and you don't have to create a business email for your ASMR channel. I have done so just because it'll be easier for me to take video submissions that way, but of course, like I said, you don't have to. It is again personal preference. But if you do end up creating a business email, of course, your email will go here. And just as a reminder, please do not put your personal email here just for safety reasons, because your viewers or anyone who can come to your channel will be able to see this contact information, and I want you guys to stay safe. Up next is channel branding. Having a strong brand for your channel helps make it a lot more pleasing for your viewer, and it also helps them recognize your channel a lot more. First, you should pick an aesthetic or a color to revolve your brand around. For example, I have a certain pink color that I revolve my brand around. As you can see, it is everywhere on my channel. The border around my text, my header, my profile picture, it is very much my color. You don't necessarily have to stick with a single color. Like I said, you can choose an aesthetic you like cottagecore, dark academia, Y2K, or whichever aesthetic it is that you enjoy. Both your profile picture and your header should match your chosen color or aesthetic. For your header, what I'd recommend is a solid color that complements your branding with your channel name or logo displayed on it. That way, it's just easier for a viewer to read. You could also have the GFX you made, a screenshot you took in a game, or just a picture you pulled from Pinterest. As for your profile picture, like your name, it really can be anything. I would advise against using someone's art if you haven't gotten express permission directly from the artist, but your profile picture could be a pic crew, of course with credit, an aesthetic image, or your own Roblox character. Later on in the video, I'm going to be teaching you how to make a simple GFX so you can create a high quality profile picture of your Roblox avatar. There are also GFX games on Roblox, such as this one, which I will have linked below. This game allowed me to create my old profile picture, which looked like this. I also want to briefly touch on making your own logo. It doesn't have to be anything special. For example, mine is just my channel name. I won't tell you exactly how to make your designs, as you should put your own creative touch on it, but just make sure that any fonts you use are readable. I'm going to take a quick intermission from discussing how to set things up on YouTube to talk about your Roblox account and possibly making a group. First, your Roblox account. If you prefer to be anonymous, I would highly suggest creating an alternate Roblox account to direct your viewers to. This way, you can still do videos where you engage with them on Roblox. For me personally, it is much better to have an alt, but if you're fine with your viewers interacting with your main account, or you don't plan to share your account at all, then it is also perfectly fine not to have an alt. However, if you do plan on using your main to be anonymous, then I would suggest making a different outfit to use in your videos. This is just so it's not easy to identify you in a game. For example, when I was making videos using my main account, I used an old outfit I had made, but it wasn't the outfit I used outside of filming. As for creating a Roblox group for your ASMR channel, that is entirely up to you. It's definitely not necessary, but I do find that it is a good way to let people know what's up and coming or what's new with your channel, and it is also just a good way to engage with your subscribers in general. Now we can get into some fun stuff. Let's talk about picking what games to play. You might think it is pretty cut and dry. I mean, you could just play whatever games you like, and yeah, that is very true. Do play games that you already enjoy. But you'd also be surprised how many times I could not find a good game to play for the life of me. So, here is my own personal list of games that you could play, all of which will be linked below. 1. Any obby or tower game, honestly, the longer the better. 2. Cabin Crew Simulator. 3. 3008. 4. Any Tycoon. 5. Natural Disaster Survival. 6. Short Creepy Stories. 7. Color or Die. 8. Cheese Escape. 9. Bloxburg. 10. Last to Leave. And 11. Find the Button. I suggest choosing longer games, but again, that is just my own personal preference. I've also noticed that viewers do tend to enjoy longer videos as well, but that also might just be my viewers. Definitely do choose games that you actually play and enjoy though. Now we move on to recording your videos. I won't be touching on recording on your phone, as that's pretty easy to figure out, but I do know of 3 free and easy to use softwares that will allow you to record on your desktop. The first software is Xbox's recording feature. If you already have a Windows desktop, then you will already most likely have this feature pre-installed. You can access the Xbox game bar by pressing on the Windows key and G at the same time. Sadly, I cannot show you footage of this process as I'm currently unable to screen record it. However, I will link a video in the Google Doc that shows you how to use this. To start recording, find the menu that says Capture and make sure that the text under the option says Roblox. This is just to make sure that you actually are recording your game, because I cannot tell you how many times I have finished up a recording only to find that I was recording my browser the entire time. Then click the record button. Now you can click your screen to exit out of the menu, and a bar will appear in the upper right hand of your screen letting you know that you are recording. You can also begin a recording without opening the Xbox menu by pressing the Windows button, Alt, and R. To find where your videos are saved, open up your file explorer, navigate to your videos, and it should be in a folder titled Captures. Something great about this software is that it will only record your game, and it is quite high quality. quality. Any notifications that you might get while recording won't show up in the video at all, which I love. The second recording software that you can use is OBS. It is a great free recording software, but I do find it a bit more difficult to use. Once you download it, and of course I will have the link to do so in the Google Doc below, just double click on this icon on your desktop to run the installer. Just keep clicking next until it starts downloading, and once that is done, it should automatically launch OBS for you. Just from this first look alone, it can seem pretty daunting, but it's actually super easy to figure out. First, let's start with screen capture. In the Sources tab, go to the bottom and click the little plus sign here, which should bring up this menu. I personally use the display capture, however you can also try to figure out the game capture. Whenever I use it, it doesn't actually record my game, just a black screen, so if anyone does manage to figure it out, I'd love it if you would let me know. But as for the display capture, the only downside that it has is that it records your entire screen, and unlike the Xbox software, it will record notifications as far as I'm aware. I have been testing out window capture and I'm not entirely sure how good that is, but you guys can also test that one out as well. Once you click on display capture, this window here will pop up. Honestly, I don't touch anything here, but if you'd like to make some adjustments, go right ahead. And if you'd like to add an audio capture as well, we're going to once again click on the little plus icon in the sources bar, except this time we are going to be selecting audio input capture. I want it to pick up audio from my K66 mic, so I'll just click the little drop down menu and select my mic. Then I just click OK, and it will be added. And finally, to record, go over to the very right and just click on the Start Recording button. I'm not sure where the default save path is, but you can check it by going to the settings and checking the output section. Mine goes to the same place as my Xbox recordings just for convenience, and you can change it to save your videos wherever you like. However, if you don't have the ability to do either or just want a bit of an easier option, Roblox also has a recording feature built in. It is lower quality, but it is still really useful. So when you're in a game like this, just go to the Roblox menu by pressing this Roblox logo up here or by pressing escape on your keyboard, and then go over to this record option over here in the top corner. You'll see that there's an option to take a screenshot or to record a video. And what you're going to want to do is click record video. You can also utilize the screenshot feature to get a photo for your thumbnail. I've used it so many times to get an easy thumbnail. So just zoom in to first person, find a good position, and then go back into settings, the record, and take a screenshot. Here are also some little tips that I have for recording your videos. Number 1, always keep your chat closed. I said this in my Q&A video, but people can get pretty weird in chat sometimes, and it just helps to just keep it closed in case something inappropriate is said and you have to edit it out later. Number 2, recording your audio and your gameplay separately is super smart. I also said this in the Q&A video, but it is really hard to focus on the game and the trigger at the same time. Any editing software will allow you to record voiceovers. Number 3, leave a couple of seconds at the start and end of your recording where you stand perfectly still so you can trim it to your liking in your editing software. Which brings me to my next topic, editing your videos. There are so many good editing softwares out there, but the one that I personally use is CapCut. It's available on both mobile and desktop, and I personally use the desktop version. It has a lot of features that are all free to use, and it doesn't put watermarks on your videos. The interface is also very beginner friendly, and everything is pretty easy to find. To show you how I edit my videos, as well as some other features you can use, I'll be editing a little fake video with you guys. The first thing I always do is import my intro, outro, and the game that I recorded. You should automatically have this media tab open, and this import button will be right here in the middle of it. Just click on import, and then we're going to open some files. I'm going to press Control, and I'm going to hold that down and select my intro and my outro. Then I'm going to click open, and it will put them here. Now you'll see that the import button in the middle is gone, but it has moved to up here. So now I'm going to go get the gameplay. And I'm just going to use this as an example. Now, First, I drag my intro down, then followed by the game, and then I'll add my outro to the end. Now I trim my footage, and next I'm going to size it. I usually size it to 105. And then for this one, I'm just going to move it down, but usually I don't. And as you can see here from this bottom bar, the audio is not muted. So what I'm going to do is go over here to audio and just turn that all the way down. Now that that's done, all I have to do is record my voiceover. First, I place my cursor, this little line here, I drag it over to where my intro and my gameplay meet. And then I'm going to go over here to this top bar that's light gray. And where this little record button is, I'm just going to hit it and it will bring up this menu. And as you can see, I have my 𝒕𝒊𝒆 microphone that is recording, and that is exactly what I want. I do not usually mess with the volume, only ever occasionally if I need something to be louder or softer. To record, you can either press this button with your mouse, or you can use the spacebar to start recording. And as you can see, it gives you a countdown. And so this is just a simple voiceover that I'm going to record just to show you an example of what I'm going to be doing. Now that I have my voiceover, I'm going to add some finishing touches. First, I like to fade my audio in and out by 1 second. That just adds a nice touch. I also add a fade out animation by 0.5 seconds to my gameplay so that I have a smooth transition between my gameplay and my outro. And that is usually how I do my videos. Now I am ready to export. I will quickly give it a name. Now, I'm going to click export over here, and you can see everything here. I like to have my resolution set at 2K, but I also used to export at 4K. 1080 is also a very good resolution, and it all just really depends on you. Please also do note that the higher you're exporting at, the longer it will take to both export and upload to YouTube, so just keep that in mind. And of course, this is just the bare bones of making your video. You can add any text or images as you wish to suit your own editing style. In order to record your videos, you're obviously going to need some equipment, aka microphones. You can, of course, use your headphone or your phone mic to record. However, if you're looking for something more advanced but on the cheap side, you are in luck. I am a broke college student on a budget, so I have managed to find 2 pretty decent mics for a steal. The first one is the Fifine K668 microphone. I am currently using it so I can show you guys what it sounds like. I've also used it in some of my older videos, so if you'd like to hear what it sounds like when you're doing ASMR, you can go look at those. So, some pros and cons. Pros, it's affordable. I got this mic on sale for around $20 total, including tax, and it currently would be around $25 since it's at regular price again. And for the price, it is honestly pretty good. It picks up everything perfectly. It also comes with a stand and the foam mic cover. The mic is sensitive, so it'll pick up a lot of the quieter sounds that you do make. Cons. It picks up a lot of white noise. While most viewers won't really mind it, it can overpower your ASMR at points, but it's usually not too bad. There is no gain control as well, so you can't change the volume of your mic except for while you're editing and doing the voiceover. It also picks up everything. Like I said, the mic is very sensitive, which is good for ASMR, but also bad. If you make any unwanted sound or someone in your house is moving about, the mic will definitely pick it up. And the second mic is the 𝒒𝒐𝒻 K66 microphone, which is my current mic and what I've been using to record this entire video. The black color is the cheapest option and it came out to I think around $35 total. So let's do a pros and cons list for this mic. For the pros, it doesn't pick up a lot of white noise. Obviously there's still some, but it's not as much as previous microphones. It also comes with a foam mic cover, which is very convenient. It has a gain control setting, so you can change how loud your volume is while you are recording. It also has a mute button, so in case something loud is happening and you don't want to end your recording or go through the hassle of editing it out, you can just turn off your audio. It also has a real-time playback feature, so you can plug in headphones and monitor your audio as you record it. There is also an echo setting. I haven't had the chance to use it in a video just yet, but it is very fun to mess around with. And it comes with a USB converter, so you can plug it into your phone as well. As for the cons, there's honestly not many, but the louder you set your gain, the more white noise it'll pick up, which is kind of obvious. Having the little dot pointing towards the E in mute above it is a very good setting though, I have found. If you use headphones when you use your monitor, plugging in your mic will cease all audio to your regular headphones. However, that can be fixed in your sound settings. From these two, the 𝒒𝒐𝒈 sound, while being pricier, is absolutely amazing and a bang for your buck. I would highly suggest it if you're looking for a quality mic on the cheaper side. Now we can get into my favorite part of making Roblox ASMR videos, making thumbnails. Your design should be unique and represent your channel's personality. I personally choose to use Canva for the base of my thumbnails and PicsArt for the extra stickers. Canva fits my needs perfectly, but of course you might prefer a different software. And just like CapCut, you can download both Canva and PicsArt to your desktop as well as your phone. I can't personally tell you how to design your thumbnails as we all have different tastes, so I would just recommend playing around with different styles in your own editing software. If you need inspiration, you can look at other creators' thumbnails, but never directly copy someone else's thumbnail style. Creators put so much effort into making their own designs and styles, and it's so disheartening when someone just straight up copies it. I also suggest keeping all of your old thumbnails saved so you can draw inspiration from them or change details as needed. Personally, I save all of mine in the same Canva project just so I have them all in one place. If you'd like to include your avatar in your thumbnails, I'm going to be outlining 2 methods to do just that, using both an easier method and a more advanced method. First, the simpler method. All you need is a green screen emote game on Roblox, a way to screenshot, and a background removing website. When I was using this method, I enjoyed this game, and I'll of course have that and the background removing website that I used in my Google Doc below. You could also use the Roblox game TTD3, however, I'm not familiar with that game or that method of making thumbnails, so I can't show you how to use it. To get poses for your thumbnail, simply join the game, test out some poses, and screenshot the ones that you like. Once you have your perfect screenshot, just put it into the background remover and let it do its magic. Of course, there will still be some green around the outline of your character and in some smaller places, but it's usually not very noticeable. I would also suggest taking the screenshot into an editing software to mess around with the adjustments because the plain screenshot might look a little dull. The second method is making a GFX. The method I used I learned from the very lovely Toasty, and I'll have her video linked below in case you wanted to check that out as well. It is a bit more work, but I think that once you get the hang of it, it is just as simple and makes your thumbnails look so much cleaner. Although do note that this method won't work if you have 3D clothing, hence why my old thumbnails don't have the pink jacket that I used to have on my avatar around that time. Before you even begin, you need to ensure that you have all the necessary items downloaded. To make a GFX, you'll need Roblox Studio, Blender, the Blender Lightroom extension, Roblox Avatar Loader, and Animation Editor. The last 2 are Roblox Studio plugins that will help you load and pose your avatar. Again, all of these will be linked down below in the Google Doc. If you had Roblox Studio open while you were getting the plugins, just close and reopen it so that they will appear. Now that Roblox Studio is open, you should open up to this screen of all of the different bases that you can choose from. Either of these 2 base plates are probably the best for making a GFX because of the flat surface, so pick whichever one that you like. I personally like the more updated base plate. Before I do anything, I always like to select the base plate by clicking on it and then deleting it by pressing the backspace button. This step obviously isn't necessary, but I do prefer to do it just to get a more clean base plate and a flatter surface. Now, once that's done, we're going to make sure that the Explore tab on our right-hand side is open because we will be needing this later. If you don't have it open by default, then you can open it yourself by going to the View tab up here at the top and then clicking the Explorer button over here at the very left. Next, we're going to go back up to the different tabs, and we're going to click on the plugins option. The plugins that you previously downloaded should now be on the toolbar, as you can see here with the load character and animation editor. First, click on load character. It will open up this little menu here, and the creator's avatar and name should already be automatically put into the menu. Simply delete the name and put in your own Roblox username. Before you click either of these spawn options, make sure that you have spawn at origin clicked. If you don't, your character will spawn in any random location and you'll have to go on a hunt for it, which is just a massive pain. So to make it easier, just make sure that this option has an X. Now, as for picking between the two spawn options, I would suggest only doing R15. If your character has any modifications such as height or width, it won't be applied if you select R6. Once your character is loaded, just click and drag them upwards to set them on the base plate instead of inside of it. If there are any problems with your character, such as body parts not loading right or accessories like face masks are missing, just reopen the studio and redo the process up to this point. Now we can move on to posing. This part is honestly super fun and one of my favorite parts of the video making process. To pose your avatar, first make sure you're back at the plugins tab and then click on animation editor up here. It will open up this menu in the lower right corner that it will say to select a rig. So just hover over your avatar and see a little blue box will open around your avatar's torso. Just click on that and then you will have the select option. Now you're able to pose all of your different body parts. It is important to note that the arms and legs have 3 different sections for more precise posing, so keep that information in mind. Play around with the pose until you get something that you like. Personally, I'm going to go for something very simple, and I'm just going to speed up this footage. Alright, now you have a pose that you like. Before you click anything else, go back to the Home tab and click on Anchor. This makes sure that your pose sticks to your avatar. You will know that you've anchored your character when it turns a deeper shade of gray. If you're not able to anchor your avatar, first go to the Explore tab and then make sure that your avatar's name is highlighted, and then go back and retry it. Now that your avatar is anchored, you can go back to the Plugins tab and click on Animation Editor once more. A little window will pop up about unsaved progress, but if you've anchored your avatar, you have nothing to worry about, so just click OK. Now your avatar has your desired pose applied to it. All that's left to do now is just exporting and lighting, which is all pretty simple. So to export, go back over to the Explorer tab and then right click your username. A menu will pop up and the second to last selection will be Export Selection. Click on that and it will open up a menu to save it to your desktop. I like to name mine the name of the video I'm doing, just to make it easier for me to find it, but you can name it whatever you want. Once that's done, you can just exit Roblox Studio. This next part is going to be a little bit lengthy, but just stick with me here. So to do lighting, you're going to open up Lightroom, not Blender, but the Lightroom extension. You might think that Blender is useless if we have Lightroom, but that's just an extension of Blender, and it needs Blender to run. Trust me, I made the mistake when I was first starting out. Keep Blender. Now, once you have Lightroom open, it will look something like this. Mine, of course, is a bit different because I've customized it to fit my needs, so just don't mind that. First, before you mess with anything, you're going to import your avatar. Go up to the very top left corner and find the File option. Click on it and find the Import option, which is about a little under halfway, and you will want to select either wavefront.obj or wavefront.obj legacy. As far as I'm aware, there's no difference between the two, so just pick whichever one you like. I personally go with legacy. That's just the one that I choose. It will bring up this menu and you will need to find your object file. Don't click the MTL file, click the OBJ file, and it will put in your avatar into your Blender. It may be somewhere else on the map, so if you want to find it, you can hold down the scroll wheel and it will let you move your camera around and go searching for it. And if you want to go back to your camera view, Over here on the right hand side of the view will be a little camera. Just click on that and it will bring you back. First, we're just going to move it back and center it. Your avatar is going to appear gray in the workspace, but it will save with color, so don't worry about that. Now this is where it gets a little bit hard, but I promise once you get everything set up for the first time, it'll be so much easier when you do it again. Before I say anything, I just want you guys to know how to check what your GFX is going to look like. On the very top menu bar, the third option from left to right will be render. Click on it and then select the first option, which is render image. A menu will pop up in the top left that will start rendering your image. It's going to look a little bit fuzzy, but as you can see from the bottom of the screen, that's just because it hasn't finished rendering, and once it's done, it will look much clearer. As you can see, mine looks crystal clear. Now, I do like the way it's posed and the way it's centered in the screen, so I'm not going to touch anything else there. But as you saw, my exposure was a little bit too high and it made my character seem a little bit too brightly lit. So to fix this, I mess around with the metallic setting. I obviously do not have these settings here, so just to get them, I'm going to re-click on the avatar and it will give me this menu. Now, to get my desired lighting and texture effect, I put my roughness all the way up and then I set my metallic to 0.8. And that usually will fix it for me and make it look a lot better. As you can see very quickly, it looks more realistic, if you can say that. However, your preferences are definitely different from mine, and if you want more of a metallic shine to it, you can turn your roughness off and then set your metallic setting to around 0.2. Obviously mess around with it, see what you like, and it will look perfect. Now that I have my brightness how I like it, it's time to mess with lighting. My lights are tilted to light upwards so my hair doesn't create a harsh shadow on my face like it did in earlier versions of my GFX. To move your own lights, just select the option under the move option on the left hand side of the screen, which looks like a little wheel with a diamond in it, and you can see here it is the rotate option. Zoom out once again using the scroll wheel and click on these rings here. This will light them up orange and allow you to move your lighting as you wish. Play around with them until you like what it looks like when you render your image. I like mine like this. As you can see, it lights upwards into my face so it doesn't create any harsh shadows. To color your lighting, go back to the upper right menu and click on lights. If it's not showing up, open the drop down menu for the Lightroom option over here. It has a little box. Open up Lightroom stuff and then it will be right here underneath circle. As you can see, mine are already colored. There are multiple options that you will need to scroll down for, and you can just play around with colors until you find something that you like. If you have a staple color, like mine is pink, I would highly suggest using that for all of them, as that's what I do. It makes your thumbnails just look a little bit more cohesive and it ties them into your profile. Again, make sure to scroll down through the menu and make sure that you have colored all of the lighting. If you're not happy with the position of the camera, you don't need to move around your avatar to fix it. Simply go up to the lower menu bar and click on View, then Navigation, and Walk. You can also access this by clicking on View, then pressing N and then W. And then you can just move your camera around using WASD and moving your mouse. Once you're fully satisfied with your render, you just need to export it. Once again, go back up to Render and Render Image. First, allow the image to fully render and then click on Image in the drop-down menu. The menu will appear, and here towards the middle, you can click Save or Save As. I click Save As, and then you are able to save it to your desktop. I'm gonna name it the same thing that I named the GFX, and then just save it as an image. Before you fully exit Lightroom, it's going to ask you if you want to save your project. In order to save your lighting angle, click yes. This way, it'll open up your Lightroom with the lights already angled how you like it, as well as colored how you wanted them to be. A file will be saved to your desktop, and I just put that in a folder in case I need it. I'm not sure if you do, but I would also rather not have my lighting deleted, so just keep it. Now that you have this saved, you don't need to save every single time you close Lightroom. This will now be your default settings. Now that you have your GFX for your thumbnail, you can upload that to whichever editing software you use for your thumbnails. I'd also like to make two little last-minute additions. First, the wonderful 𝒕𝒂𝒎𝒆 ASMR is offering to make your GFX or your entire thumbnail for $10 to $20 depending on the package that you choose. Her work is super good and perfect for those who can't or don't want to make their own for whatever reason. Of course, I'll leave a link down below to her Fiverr page. Second, I'll also be leaving a link to a Canva template of a couple of different free-to-use thumbnail designs. If you see one you like, you can just delete the others and use the one that you chose. Next, we move on to video titles and descriptions. First, we'll start with titles. Like your thumbnails, your titles should be unique. How I settled on my own was a lot of trial and error, plus playing around with different styles in my notes app. Adding the term Roblox ASMR is a great keyword that will let others find your video a lot easier, and adding emojis can make your title look more appealing. Your titles can be more descriptive, like this one of mine, or more straight to the point, like this other video of mine. Both of these are equally as good, and it's up to you to decide which style you prefer. Your video descriptions are honestly the same way. They should be unique and reflect the personality of your channel. Again, I can't tell you exactly how to set up your description, but I do think adding links to your Roblox profile, group, or other social media links, and especially the game that you're playing in the video, are all good things to have. If you want to have all of your links in one place, again, Linktree or Card are great sites to use, and I will of course have them linked below. If you want to have some aesthetic symbols in your descriptions or even your channel bios or name, I will link a couple of websites that I use in the Google Doc. Now that you have everything else done, you can finally start to plan your upload schedule. When you're creating a schedule, make sure it's something that you'll be able to stick to most of the time. Of course, things could come up to throw you off schedule, and that's okay. For example, I upload on Fridays at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time, although at some points I was posting up to 3 times a week. If I stick to my regular schedule, that means that I have all week to record and schedule my videos to go live at the time that I need it to. This is convenient for me as a college student who has a lot of homework. Find a day or days that work for you and then pick the best time to upload. You can also ask your audience what time they prefer you to upload at and use that to pick a time that works best for you and your viewers. And I know I said I wouldn't give advice on how to grow, but I'm going to make a small exception here. I have noted that people tend to notice your videos more the later in the day that they're uploaded. And always remember that it's okay to not perfectly stick to your schedule all the time. I've definitely had a couple days where I've delayed uploads or skipped weeks entirely, and that is perfectly fine. Most people won't mind if you miss your schedule. And finally, I have a bunch of random tips that I couldn't fit elsewhere, but I think are just as important. If you upload from your desktop, you can set default settings for your uploads. To do this, go to YouTube Studio, then on the left-hand menu, go down to Settings, and then Upload Defaults. There, you can set what you want your default titles, description, playlists, etc. to be. It makes uploading so much easier. Along that same train of thought, scheduling your videos takes a lot of the stress off. This way, you can upload perfectly on time, and you can always pre-record videos a good while in advance. And if you use CapCut for editing, like I do, 105% zoom is the perfect ratio for a YouTube video, and 333% is good for shorts or TikToks. You could probably have a smaller zoom for shorts and TikToks, but 333 is my lucky number, so I just go with that. Alright, that is all that I have for this video. I really hope that some of the things I showed helped you guys out, and if you still have any questions, please feel free to ask them in the comments and I'll do my best to answer all of them. If I've missed something or I didn't cover something that you were looking for, let me know in the comments and I might make an updated version later on. As always, if you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate it if you could maybe like, comment, or subscribe, and if you want to find me anywhere else, all of my links are down below in the description. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you on Friday.